What's going on, guys? Jimmy Mahalik here, back with a second stimulus check update today for you guys. In this video, we're going to go over when you should expect to receive the second stimulus check. We're going to go over the timeline of all this and the details of the second stimulus check and how much you should expect from the second stimulus check coming out. But first, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on updates about the second stimulus check. And also on this channel, I have videos about personal finance, investing, and how to make money selling products on Amazon. Okay, so just to clear things up, first we need to talk about how there are second stimulus checks or new stimulus check, new stimulus money already going out to specific people. And this is in the form of checks or money from states, cities, and counties. There's a lot of places like California, Florida, Chicago that have been giving out stimulus money to their residents. Most of this money has come from the first stimulus package that passed. A lot of states and cities all received millions or billions of dollars from that first act that already passed, and some of the states have decided to give it back to their residents in the form of stimulus money or rent help or rent forbearance, or even hazard pay for some essential workers. So I have another video completely outlining all the states and cities and counties that are already doing that. I'll link to that at the end of this video. But those stimulus checks are already going out to specific people. But that's not what most people think of when they think of the second stimulus check. They think of the big check that's pretty much coming out from the federal government and going out to most Americans. You can't say all Americans because a lot of people didn't get it if they were claimed as a dependent, if they were a child, even if they were married to an immigrant. There's a lot of people that didn't qualify, or if they made too much money. So now let's talk about the big second stimulus check. So really the first question to ask is, will we receive a second stimulus check? And nobody knows the future for certainty, but here's what we do know. The Republicans recently started off by saying they didn't want to pass the second stimulus check and they wanted to wait and see. In recent news, Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate Majority Leader and the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, has now said he's okay with a second stimulus package being up to $1 trillion, and that this would include a second stimulus check to Americans. Donald Trump and the White House have recently gone on record to say that they are also in favor of a second stimulus package with a direct payment to Americans, and that stimulus package would be around $2 trillion. And the House of Representatives, which is controlled by the Democrats, have already passed a bill called the HEROES Act, which is a $3 trillion bill and includes a $1,200 stimulus check to Americans, but that has been waited to be voted on by the Senate, which is controlled by Republicans. So what does all that mean? That means that the Republicans are for a second stimulus package, the Democrats are for a second stimulus package, and Trump and the White House are also for a second stimulus package, and this includes a direct payment to Americans. And the numbers we've been hearing are at least $1,200 and up to $2,000 with the possibility of a monthly check ongoing. So we have everybody in favor of a second stimulus check. Okay, so that part we've kind of got down. We just have to see when it will happen and how much it will be for. So now let's go into when will it happen. Also, if you can, hit the like button for me down below. It really helps out my channel. So the first possibility of getting a next stimulus check out to Americans can literally happen within less than 2 weeks. And that is because there has been recent news that has been moving very fast on a new $1 to $2 trillion infrastructure bill that is supposed to create up to 1 million long-term jobs in the economy. And Nancy Pelosi, the lead Democrat in the House of Representatives, has already said that this will be a bipartisan support bill. And what that means is that there's already support from Republicans and already support from Democrats. So pretty much when that happens, it means the bill is going to be passed because there's not really opposition. And there's been recent news that they're going to be voting and possibly passing this before the July 4th holiday. So, literally in less than 2 weeks. And this is going to be called the Moving Forward Act and is likely to pass very quickly. The question is, will they include a stimulus package to Americans as they're spending this additional $1 trillion or $1.5 trillion in stimulus to the economy to create new jobs? They could literally also include a direct stimulus payment to Americans here in this bill because we've already had support from it from both sides in favor of a direct stimulus payment to Americans. So that's the first possibility, and this could happen within the next 2 weeks. Okay, the next possibility to get a stimulus payment passed to Americans is from the HEROES Act that has already passed the House. That's about a $3 trillion bill, and that includes a $1,200 stimulus payment directly to Americans. Again, that's already passed the House and now is waited to be voted on from the Senate, who is controlled by the Republicans. Now, the Senate is going on recess. They call it a state work period. It used to be called recess, and it's basically there's no work required from them. They basically go on holiday, and they will be gone for 2 weeks from July 3rd to July 17th. So, they're probably going to vote on the infrastructure bill before this date. And if they don't also vote on the HEROES Act before this date, then it'll likely be in the next coming days after July 17th, July 18th, July 19th, so a little bit less than 30 days away. Also, I want to remind you that when this next stimulus payment does come out, to be very careful. There's actually been thousands of reports of people who threw away their stimulus check in the mail by accident and didn't even know that they were throwing it away. So check your mail very carefully because they're also issuing debit cards through the mail to some people who don't get the stimulus payment via direct deposit. Direct deposit is the safest way. And as you can see here on the official IRS government website, that mailed check payments may also be sent as debit cards. So make sure you're checking your mail very carefully. And also, you can actually update your information to be sent to you via direct deposit, where it's directly deposited into your bank account. That's actually the safest way to get your check, and it's also the fastest way to get your check because they don't have to print a check and then mail it, and then it can be lost in the mail, and all that stuff can take, up to 2 weeks to do. Direct deposit literally just goes out and it's in your bank account very fast. So I'll actually put the link to this IRS website down below in the description. You may need to click the little down arrow next to the title here to open up the description. If you're on mobile phone, if you're on PC, it's just down below. But in certain situations, this tool will give you the option to provide your bank account information to receive your payment via direct deposit. Also, Americans have already lost over $35 million to scams in regards to people trying to get your stimulus money. So if anybody calls you and asks for your debit card number, your bank information, or anything like that, the IRS and the government will not call you and ask you for this information over the phone. So don't give it to anybody. I don't want to see you guys lose your stimulus. So be very careful with your bank account and your debit card and your stimulus payment information. And also down below in the comments is a link to the Webull investing app. When you sign up with them, you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. So that link is down below in the description. And if you're on a mobile phone, you have to click that little down arrow that's right next to the title. And in this top video over here is the video on who will qualify for the second stimulus check, so you can watch that video next. And this bottom video is about states and cities that are also giving out stimulus checks to their residents. And over here, I'll link a video that teaches you how to start selling on Amazon. I have students that have replaced their entire 9 to 5 income by selling one product on Amazon. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.